What is up, denizens of the interwebs? It's Arza Chats here, coming at you with another video, and this time we're talking about a supposed statement made by the CEO of Saber Interactive, the company behind the hit game Space Marine 2. So like, subscribe, and hop in, losers. We might be having a return to form. Alright, so the basics of the story is simply that on an Asmond Gold video, the CEO of Saber Interactive went into Asmond Gold's reply statements and left a little comment talking about how appreciative he was of Asmond Gold. One thing that is very important to state that this article from Bounding Into the Comments by Spencer Bakuli makes is that we really need to take this entire thing with a grain of salt, because we have no evidence that this is actually the CEO of Saber Interactive. There are a lot of details between the profiles on his YouTube account and on other things we know about him that could be the same person, or it could be a really easy and good deep fake of someone pretending to be him just to blow smoke up Asmond Gold's ass or create a stirs in culture war nonsense. So what he ends up saying is all the way down here. Hey man, CEO of Saber here, I love your videos. When we signed the deal to make Space Marine 2, all I wanted was a throwback game. We had the chance to work on something which by its nature was old school, he explained. I can't even comprehend any of my current games that we play these days. They are too complex and too much of an investment. We worked on Halo back in the day, and that game would be distilled down to the simplest of shooting loops, but it was entirely addicting. That is what we wanted to capture. I hope that games like Space Marine 2 and Black Myth Wukong are the start of a reversion to a time when games were simply about fun and immersion. I spent some time as Chief Operating Officer at Embracr, and I saw games that made me want to cry with their overblown attempts at messaging or imposing morals on gamers. We just want to do some glory kills and get the heart rate up for a little. For me, that's what games should be about. Now, Embracr Group is the group that owns basically everything. It's a group of communist losers who went around and they acquired basically anything they can, Lord of the Rings and a bunch of other different properties, and then immediately trashed them into the ground. They took these incredibly expensive and incredibly well-loved titles and made them practically worthless just for the hell of it because they thought they could insert their social programming. Now, this then continues on over to this IGN article, which isn't a whole lot of anything. It just contains a picture of it, where IGN specifically goes to talk about the fact that he doesn't actually know if this article has anything to do with the CEO of Saber Interactive. But the one thing that it comments is that IGN reached out to the Embracr Group asking for confirmation one way or another, but did not receive a response, which is absolutely no surprise to me. Embracr Group would never admit to having someone like this work in their games. If someone with this mindset was found to be working at Embracr, they would be fired on the spot and gotten rid of as soon as possible, as Embracr would hate to have this kind of good-willed and well-meaning person on their team. So, while this is a significantly shorter article, since there isn't a whole lot of information to go on right now, this truly encapsulates the entire problem in the gaming industry. How we have people like this who can only make these kind of statements on a relatively anonymous system like YouTube comments, where we can't actually prove whether or not it's really him. And the fact that it takes someone this long, it takes someone who has been working on Halo games for this long to produce something that is actually just dumb fun. And from everything I've heard, Space Marine 2 is in fact just dumb fun. One of my roommates is constantly playing the game, and I can hear him absolutely losing his mind at Terminids and other players in the game non-stop. It sounds incredibly fun and sounds like an amazing game to play. But the fact that it took this long for us to get a AAA game like that's kind of like Helldivers 2, but hopefully without the issues that Helldivers 2 has had since launch, with exclusivity and having a lot of the devs and the community managers absolutely hating the player base and insisting on making the game as miserable as possible. Hopefully he is correct that Space Marine 2 and Black Myth Wukong are a return to form, because the gamers should be the main audience, and the gamers are the only ones who matter when it comes to the gaming cycle. Hopefully he's correct, and hopefully we will continue to get good games like this, and I honestly hope that Saber Interactive and a bunch of these other game studios that are willing to fight back against the culture war and just put out good content will continue to strive and continue to make these great content-based games, and hopefully we'll get a massive resurgence of just dumb, fun games that everyone can enjoy and everyone can have fun playing. But that's all I've got for today. So if you've been enjoying playing Space Marine 2, let me know what you've been thinking about it in the comments, because I kind of want to get it, but I can't really justify it right now. And thanks for coming along with me, and hopefully this is truly a return to form.